Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Welcome to life. We're living in freedom every day. I have the wonderful, beautiful Prudence Kalloo with us today. She's going to share with us how to shift your vibration and share with us her story. So, from my heart to yours, I am going to bring on this beautiful soul. Hello. Good afternoon, Prudence.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how are you?
I am blessed. I am blessed this Saturday. Thank you. How are you?
I am doing great. We had a little spontaneity here where it was like, hey, let's do this,
I
right?
love it. I love it. That's how Sagittarius rolls too. We're very spontaneous.
Exactly, exactly. Well, I know that I'm in the presence of a legend, and I just really appreciate your spirit and your love and everything that you bring to the world, right? The light. And I would like for you to share about all things possible. I don't want to give anything away. You just have such a powerful story. Your smile is beautiful. You just are amazing. And I am so glad to be connected with you. And I'm so glad to share you with the world so they know what you are doing. So without further ado, hello.
Hello. Thank you again. Before I start, thank you also for the spontaneousness. I love it. And for having me on your show also. It is a blessing and honor for me to be here with you too. Thank you for sharing space. So my name is Prudence, like you said, Kalu. We're more than just a title, right? So I'll just start off, like you said, to start off with all things possible. I created this group about 4 years ago. It actually came about when I was going to church, and the pastor was talking about changing the names of people in the Bible according to their life and their purpose and their reasoning, what God would have them to do. And the pastor said, "Go home and think about what would God change your name to." And I went home and I did think about it, prayed about it, and all things possible popped into my head. And God reminded me, or Source reminded me of, look at your life. The things that seemed impossible has happened, and there's a lot more that seems impossible that's going to happen, and all things are possible in your life. And I went home and I went on Facebook and changed my name to Prudence, all things possible, Kalu. And after about 2 months, Facebook messaged me and said, "You have to prove that's your name." I was like, "Oh, I can't prove it," so I took it off. And an idea to start a group, I came to me. I didn't start it yet, though. The idea popped into my head, and I was in another group and wanted to share other ideas that I was learning, and have a space that, like, a lot of the tools that we were being given, I wanted to do it as an experiment, and I knew that there was power in numbers, and so I started the group for that reason. And plus, I throw a little bit of swear words left and right, and some groups don't like that in their group. And I wanted a place that if you wanted to cuss or talk about anything, you could.
Right?
And so I created All Things Possible. And since then, I've had the most amazing friends that have been riding with me from all different groups. I mean, all over the world together. So, and it's just growing. And Source keeps feeding me ideas of how, to interact with the world and bring the message. So here I am.
That's awesome. We have several people on. Teodora, she said hello. And thank you, Joe, for the kind compliments
Hey,
on that.
Joe.
We
Love
always
to see
welcome
you.
anybody that hops on, right?
Yes, yes. I've seen him when I hopped on your live. He hops
Hmm.
on with you quite often too. So
Yes. Yeah,
that's how I know Joe.
he's an amazing person.
Oh, I can feel that.
So tell us about the group. When you started the All Things Possible, right? And
Yes.
it's grown. Like, you have a huge group and it's from all walks of life. So share with us about that.
Yeah. So it's growing to me. Like you said, I have people from all over, and one of the things I put on there was that I didn't want anybody to feel, if they wanted to post about Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, Allah, or just lessons that you're learning, that you have the freedom to do so without people jumping on you or judging you.
Mhm.
Excuse me. And that's what we've been doing on there. And initially, when I started, a lot of the tools that I was learning, like I said, like I did a 5-5-5 experiment where we wrote down
Mhm.
5 things 5 times, 55 times, and different things like that. I did a 2-week experiment where we woke up in gratitude, and so to try to manifest and change, shift our thinking. I did journaling experiments on there, just those different tools that we've been given. The EFT, I love also. So I've done,
Oh,
yeah, I've done those too, where we experiment with the things that we're learning, because there are now, I thought it was just like 5 or 10, but it's like millions of tools out there that we
mhm.
can use to get ourselves in alignment, to create our lives the way we want it to help others around us, and then just to live that life in fullness as much as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. I want to say Joe is saying that your necklace is fire, and I knew you was going to bring it. You always do.
Thank you, Joe.
You always do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
So with the group, you've had incredible success with your group, and I think it's so beautiful because like the name in and of itself, all things possible. I mean, how could you not want to be a part of that, right? All things are possible.
Minded. Yeah.
That just resonates on so many levels. However, what I wanted you also to share is that you also bring a lot of beautiful souls and to the forefront with your lives as well. So can you share how that started
Yeah.
and go from there?
Okay. Yes, absolutely. So, it started about maybe 5 months ago, 4 months ago. I started doing live, as you talk about the necklace. I started doing lives, doing paparazzi jewelry. And when I was doing it, I loved the jewelry. I still do, and I still sell it. But I knew it was getting me ready for something. I could feel
Mhm.
that I was doing this to get ready for something. And one of the things was to be able to speak freely to the camera, or feel
Mhm.
confident enough to be in front of the camera. And so it started putting me out there a little bit. And then I have one of my best friends, his wife and I are also really good friends. And she said, she messaged me and says, "Hey, do you want to hop on and do a live in your group reading?" And I do tarot reading and oracle reading. And she did I Ching. And so I was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, sure." So when I hopped on with her, we went on, and it was an hour, but it felt like 5 minutes. It was
Yeah.
so, my vibration rose so high when I was done with that. I was just like, my heart was pumping, adrenaline was rushing, and all of a sudden, in my mind's eye, I seen like I think I told you when you were on
Mhm.
with me, like a ping pong machine. It went bing, 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 and I knew exactly how to start, what to do next. I didn't need to ask anybody any permission or ask them what do they think. I just went, and I started reaching out to people on my page that I've been loving what they're teaching. And a lot of them are teachers or healers or
Mhm.
all the different things that they do to help with the collective. And I started asking them, and I told myself, if I get 4 of these people that I put on my list, then I know I'm heading in the right direction. And I started asking, and they started saying yes. I was like,
No.
oh man. And it felt so good. I felt like I knew I was in alignment when I was finished. I just felt
Mhm.
like confirmation that this is what it is I'm supposed to be heading towards. And I knew for a long time that I know, just like I was telling someone I did an interview with today, Rihanna, that we're all teachers at the core, right? Or healers.
Yeah.
Once we've been gone through a situation in our lives and we've mastered or learned from it, we want to help other people so that it may not be as bumpy or rough as it was for us. But what I realize is that it has to be, and it will always
Right.
be that. But what we do now is we bring in tools to help that, to help them figure out how they're going to figure it out. And once we give them the tool, usually we all find our own thing that works for us. So use a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And so I wanted to bring in people who everyday lives, just their journey, or people who were
Right.
talking and teaching something, to talk about their experience, so that somebody who's listening can hear something and think, oh, maybe I should do a journal, and maybe I should do whatever they heard from the live. And that was one of
Yeah.
the things that I brought for. And so in doing these interviews, I've realized that we are spiritual superheroes. And I've talked to you about that. I really believe that
Yeah.
what we're doing is raising up spiritual superheroes, all of us
Mhm.
accessing and activating our power within
Mhm.
ourselves to create and live the way that we intend to, right? We intended to,
Yeah.
or that we are now intending to. So, yeah, and it's all over the world. I love it so much. We've talked about this and get excited together when we
I
talk about that.
know.
I know. And the other day too, whilst we're on live, I want to jump on it. Says I've had this this nudge too. I think that we should get a few of us who do interviews together and have a interview with each other.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a conversation with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm game for that. I I I just love hearing your story.
Thank you.
And,
Yeah.
and I applaud you for listening to that still small voice, right?
Yes.
Because look what it's grown into. Look at the community, Prudence, that you've created as a result of you making a decision, listening to that still small voice, not questioning anything. And
Yeah.
even if you were a little hesitant, like, I don't know if I should be doing this, and you have to tell yourself, okay, if I get 4, it doesn't matter. You got it, and then you still made a decision that I made that commitment. If I get my 4, I'm gonna move forward and take action. So thank you for that, because that's encouragement for people to just be still, listen, and just do it. Look at this. Look what you created. I think it's just amazing.
What I love, and I feel like it's coming up a lot, Patricia, and lately, especially that you brought that up, is that a lot of us are going to coaches and teachers, and we need those. I agree with that. But a lot of the times, once you get and a coach has helped you, or either your spirit has showed you how to tap in and get aligned, you don't need to ask anybody, what should I do? In a sense, when I say, like, what direction should I move? You may need to know the knowledge of how to do it, and, to apply it, and the process of how to do it. So I'm not saying, but there's this knowing within yourself. Like, I was just thinking, like, you have that little butterfly because you're getting ready to go on camera. You don't know if you're going to mess up, but this push behind you is so much stronger in the heart space that this is where, I'm going to jump on. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. And, we've talked about it too before as well. And most people out there, they're not looking that close where they even know that there was anything that went maybe not on course, right? But because it's something new for us and we're following our heart's desire, we're following what we're supposed to do. You just learn from it, because it's like you learn, like it's really, I will say, I'm learning. It's really no big deal. They didn't see that. And you know, like, okay, well, next time I'm going to be more conscious of that, and I'll make sure I'll do that differently, so it's just a good learning experience.
It is. It's so cool too, because it is, like they say, if you want to learn something, teach something. And so by doing this too, what I realize is that there's so many things that I am learning within myself about myself by doing this. So even though I'm out here and my desire is to help everybody else have information to access to live a better life, that's exactly what I'm doing for myself too. This. So it's cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. So do you go, I want everyone to know when you go live. Is that only in your group, or do you also go live on your personal page?
So I'm sorry. So for when I'm doing interviews with people from around the world and bringing that information, I like to do it on All Things Possible, because that is the space I'm creating for that. On my regular page, I do entertainment stuff. So like my jewelry, or if I want to hop on and show you where I am or something like that. But for when it comes to learning and like applying information, will be on All Things Possible page.
Great. And that's open for anyone that wants to join?
Yes, anyone who wants to join. You know, I don't think you even have to request anymore. You can just join. I think if you want to comment on like some of the videos, you would be a member. But yeah, it is free for anybody to join. It's pretty much an open group. And like I said, I love people to share their thoughts. And if they have an experiment that they've heard of and want to try, to share their stuff on there as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to put a banner on here so that they will have that.
Thank you.
Is it all one word?
All one word. All Things Possible.
That's what I thought. So I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I've been having so much fun. What I've realized too lately in the last like week or a month or so, it's been a lot of women working with feminine energy, and they want to help other women heal. I remember, I think that's part of one of your callings as well too, that you want to help with women do healing. But what I love too is now I'm running into a lot of the masculine energy. Oh my
Mhm.
God, it's so amazing to see their healing process take place too, and then us lining up and rising up. So the
Yeah.
balance has been amazing too. The information that people are sharing on here, and like I said, not everybody who comes on to talk has like a course that they share or a product that they're even selling. Sometimes I have people just come on and share about your journey. I had one lady come on, Sunny, that she recently lost her significant other and
Mm.
her twin flame, and she I was just amazed because we've all getting to the space now too where we're accepting that death is not the end, and so it can be sad, but there's a different perspective to look at it from because it's a continuation and that spirit is still here, and then there's so much
Mhm.
other lessons and other things that you can, and to see the way she was actually applying it. So she didn't have anything that she was promoting, but I wanted
Mhm.
her to come on and talk about that, and then to learn how she was amazing. Her story just reminded me so of love and how the
Mhm.
possibilities of love from
Yeah.
any unknowing, and just the magical ways that synchronicities happen with her, and how, and it's like, so people just sharing their journeys. To me, I think communication is so important. And so what we're doing right now is just communicating with other people, hearing about their story. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. And you know what's really powerful that I found out about that? I was talking to a friend earlier this morning, and we were talking about there. I don't remember where it was on Facebook, but it said, this is what depression looks like. And it was all smiling faces, didn't look like they had a care in the world, right?
Yeah.
So it's imperative for us to always know and to be mindful that everything is not as it seems just because someone seems like they're happy. So we never know what story, and be open wherever that message is coming from, because you may be surprised where
Yeah.
you get what you need,
That's
but be open to it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I've learned that so much too in doing these. Well, before that, but the lives kind of just show evidence to that. It's kind of the whole thing about not judge a book by its cover, because you never know.
You never know.
Sometimes when people come on and I'm like, whoa, that was amazing.
I
Like
know.
I feel so full. And
Mm,
and other, well, I've not had one where I felt like the person didn't deliver, but there's
yeah,
some that delivers with a bam, and
right.
weren't expecting that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I have noticed too is that just because people sit back and they're observing, or they're not saying anything, it doesn't mean they're not philosophical. It doesn't mean that they have
Yes.
this deep core rooted
Yeah.
substance of information or experience, right?
Yeah.
So to be we by providing these platforms,
Yeah.
I feel that it's giving people who would normally not say anything or speak up the
Yeah.
safe space to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. I've noticed too. Have you noticed, like, even when you go out in public, that a lot of people are awake. I don't know if it comes from that, like, uh, the way you view life, you see life,
Mhm.
and so that's what keeps feeding and you see. But
Yeah.
I see a lot of people waking up, a lot of more people waking up to me than that are asleep. And
Mhm.
there's some of that just sparking, and the ones that we say asleep, which those terms are so funny to me. But anyways, we're gonna use it because we know what we're talking about. But to the people who are asleep, they're supposed to be there, and so, like, now knowing all of that and seeing the flow of how everything is
Mhm.
synchronizing, I respect even their spot because they're helping somebody who sees to be able to know they're seeing.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, everybody has whatever their journey, however they see their journey. I don't know, I've developed a new different respect and of boundaries of not feeling to
Mhm.
have to force to feed them so that they can live a better life. If they want to, the information is all around us now. We can grab.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's platforms and groups like All Things Possible. Don't forget to join that group, All Things Possible.
Yeah.
Um, that if they're open to those modalities that are being taught in there, because some of it, if you were raised a certain way and you weren't used to that, or you haven't been exposed to that, it can be a little like, oh, what's this? It's kind of woo woo. What is this, right? Right. But however, like just what you said, like about the tapping has been around for ages, and it's so powerful. So it's a real non-invasive, easy way that to tap into just something simple. And then, as you explore more of the people that you're bringing into your group, to teach or journaling, maybe you didn't know how to journal. Well, now because of all things possible, you're doing that, right? So, but it's a choice, and you still have to be open to that. And I'm just really very grateful to you, Prudence, that you're providing this platform, and you said yes. I mean, you said yes, so you have to honor that power, right? Of saying yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I do. You too. That's what I'm saying. And I think we also talked about this, but I love even that the ones who have said yes and is following that calling. Oh, my thought just went out my head. But okay. So that all of us who are following this calling is also passing our limitation, our boundaries, and being able to not set an example, but live that example for other people to see too. Yeah. And that we also are pushing past our fear. I know for me, I've pushed past my fear a lot doing this, and it's helping me to be able to feel confident to step a little bit further too. So I'm open to see where source is leading us. I feel like this is just the beginning step for all of us. And there is millions of us, billions of us, if not, that are listening to this call and rising up. I mean, we're right here in this little part of the US, and there's so many in the US and so many all over the world. And so I love that we're all listening and kind of starting to say yes also to our souls, to ourselves.
Right. It's interesting that you said that, because I got a DM from a lady, from a connection that unlikely, who would have ever thought, and found out that she's probably, I don't know, maybe 5 hours, 4.5, maybe 5 hours away. And her DM said, isn't it funny how it took someone from around the world in Africa to connect us, and we're really like a stone's throw away, right?
Yes, I thought about it last night. I was like, I am probably one friend request away from the manifestation that I'm looking for.
Right. Exactly.
One friend request, or we might be already friends.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The power of technology, and but the power of just life, and what does life mean to you?
Yeah. I get to this point now too, where I'm like, so I know there's a balance. And so this is a question, I pose to the universe too, because there's this space that you get to where you kind of realize that everything is working out the way it's supposed to. Then the only thing that really here is our choices, right? Our choices, our freedom to choose what seems to be the biggest gift to a human being, is that we get to choose. And so even though everything kind of is, I don't know if it's destined, but as we choose, the flow of whatever your choices reflects, your what is it, the outcome of what you're choosing. So that is what I think we need to start looking at and really exercising, is our gift and freedom and power of in choice and choose.
Right.
So the person who repeats the same story over and over every day,
right.
Yet they don't like the way their lives are. So they can choose to continue telling the same story, or choose to figure out a way to use a tool to change it, and it goes on and on. But our power of choice is very powerful. I've been noticing that a lot in a lot of people and interviews and stuff like that I've been doing.
Yeah, the power of choice is something that's been resonating with me for the last couple of months. And then since I've been doing these as well and listening to people, and as you said, the guests that say yes, they didn't have to. So that was the power of that choice, right?
Yeah.
To come on and share. That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, for me too. I'm getting more and more excited. I feel like there's a time when my spirit just pops in and says, okay, go on. I'll tell you who. and I start scrolling and they start popping out to me like they like light bulbs. I
Yeah.
I never really understood that when like my mind can understand it, but my heart knew when Abraham Hicks says that people pop out like light bulbs to them to
Mhm.
know who to call in the hot seat. For those
Yeah.
who knows about Abraham, so that happens to me almost like when I'm scrolling who to ask. Now I've had some people pop out to me, and they don't respond, but I feel like there's still a reason I was supposed to pop out to them as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I listen to that. I listen to those people who stand out to me, and not that the
Mhm.
other people don't. But at this moment in this time frame, is who those are the people who we need to hear something that they're saying right now.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's you following that intuitive voice and that intuitive
Yes.
feeling of again another choice, because you can say, oh yeah, I feel that, but I'm not going to do it. But you also take that stand and like, yeah, I'm doing this
Over
because
it.
there's power in this, right?
Yeah.
There's power in yes.
Yes. There is Lisa Nichols. I love. I like maybe about 7, 8 years ago. I heard her giving us one of her talks, and she says if you really put power behind your intention or whatever you're saying that you're gonna, you say yes, yes 2 times, and since then I always put yes, yes. If you see my comments,
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna say yes, yes. I'm writing that
yes,
down.
she
Yes,
says
yes.
yes, yes. She say yes,
I
yes.
like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do too.
yeah, yeah. And like even like books, there's some really short books out there that one of my guests had mentioned the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that book. I probably read that book like 18, 19 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I found that book and I was like, wow, this is, I
What's
need to
the
read
name of
it.
the book?
It is um hold on, give me a second.
Okay, no, I thought you maybe had it close.
No, I don't have it close. um I'll post it in the comments when I think of it.
Okay, okay.
um
That's okay. It'll
Oh
come.
no, Think and Grow Rich. Think
Oh,
and Grow
oh,
Rich.
yes, yes,
Sorry,
yes, yes.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yes, a great
Yeah,
book.
yeah,
Yes,
and I haven't read it in a long time, and it's like that's what we started with, like way back when. That was
yeah,
like one of your basic books that you started with was Think and Grow Rich. Just the concepts in it, simple concepts, easy read, but really very powerful. So sometimes we just have to go back to the basics too and kind of have a
yeah.
refresher.
You know what I've noticed now that you said that too? A lot of times, books that we've read before, like for me, what triggered my catapult my shifting was Conversations with God.
Mm,
And so I listened to that, and let me see, Jasmine was out. My daughter situation helped me helped wake
mm.
me up. Also, right? She had cancer when she was 2 years old.
Oh wow.
And I read that right before she was diagnosed in 2012. So I read Conversation with God maybe the early part of 2012, and by July it was when she was diagnosed. um
Wow.
and so it catapulted me because everything I had read in there I had already felt this resonance to, and then being in the hospitals with her, it helped me really woke up and seen I had life in God in this box. But what I liked, so that was 2012, and I think again in 2015 I read it again, but this time I think I listened to it in audiobook because it was on YouTube now, and it was so crazy that how this, I understood those things that woke me up. Now being in this new perspective of seeing, when I heard it again, it had such a different even impact again. So my point
Mm,
is sometimes these books too that we have read before, to reread them again, because now in your new perspective, your new you, there'll be more revealed information and
right,
revelations for you. Yeah,
right.
that's a great book. I love Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was excited about that. And even you mentioned that in your group, All Things Possible, that you've had journaling in there before,
Yeah, I've used
and
his stuff in there.
that's amazing as
Yeah,
well, because you can literally kind of see your progression of growth or
yes,
your stagnation,
yeah,
even going back and looking at your journals. So the fact that if you're open to that as well, that's a good way to kind of navigate um, uh, saying yes and moving forward. So
yeah,
just using those powerful tools.
yeah, yeah. It is. It has been amazing. I've used a lot of that. I've used experiments from Think and Grow Rich. I've used experiments from Joe Dispenza, a
I
lot of
love Joe
his.
Dispenza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a lot of also from Abraham Hicks, of course, and things that Deepak Chopra, Eckhart, so
Mhm.
all of them. I love all of them too. So every time I hear a new thought, or I want to put to test and see how can it work in my life.
Yeah. I know. It's like a beautiful puzzle. You take a
Yeah,
piece from this person, a
yes,
piece from that, and then you put it together, and it's like, that looks good, pretty solid, but there's still more.
yeah,
Oh, right. And then you get
yeah.
another piece and you put in that piece, and then you're just, this canvas is just this beautiful canvas, right? And as you grow, it's like, oh, there's still more to this
Wait, there's more
beautiful
pieces. Yeah,
picture, right?
yeah. It's
Exactly.
my analogy would be one as to cooking and with a recipe too. You know, of course you have to see what works for this dish that you're making. Because
Yeah.
if I'm making curry, I'm not gonna put um peanut butter in it, or or jelly in it. So you have to know too what works for this manifestation, what works for this in intention that you're trying to create. So
Right.
play around with it because there's so many tools, so many ingredients that
Exactly.
you use. Love it.
Yeah. Oh my God. I just love you.
I love you too.
I do. From the moment when you sent me that DM and that voice, I was, I mean, you probably are tired of hearing me say it, but I'm gonna say it again. I don't really care because I
No,
really
say
need it.
it.
I'm like, oh my gosh. First of all, it's like, oh my gosh, she reached out to me. And then it was like, man, you just sounded so beautiful and so positive. And it's like nurturing and just all of those things that, from a, I don't know, you're not a stranger because we're in spirit as one, but because of us saying yes, we now have that connection, and you have just this beautiful spirit of reaching out and keeping those relationships going,
Yeah.
right? Because you didn't have to
My
do that,
pleasure.
and then even since we've gotten to know each other, you're still, building that foundation of, hey, what's up, and that's the power also of growth, and just of authenticity, of establishing something more than just a superficial, hey, you want to come on and let's just chat, and then you're off, and then nothing of substance after that, right?
Yeah.
How can we help each other? How can all things possible, how can we promote, so people that are hurting out there, hurt people, but
Yeah.
if we can reach those people where they can get into, your group, whatever resonates with them, get into something,
Yeah.
but be in something that is also standing for something, like you are, Prudence. You're just such an amazing, I just encourage you just to continue, what you're doing. It's so powerful. It's
Thank
so
you again.
powerful.
I believe that one of the reasons, and thank you for saying that, and that you feel that is because when I reach out to people, I really reach from a spirit space of
Mhm.
already knowing, like I told you, because the light bulb went off and I said to invite this person, it's my spirit that takes over for me,
Mhm.
and then I reach out in authenticity, like you said, because I really feel people's spirit. I
Mhm.
can feel people, like like you said, your friend just popped on here, and I can tell you can feel people's spirit.
Yeah.
And so I reach out to people from that space. Any person that I've ever reached out to, my spirit already felt like it knows them. And
Mhm.
so, and I
Yeah.
love that to continue because that's what I'm talking about. The communication, it has to be good communication in relationships, and in relationships with everybody. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about just your family, your romantic, or your neighbor. I'm talking about with everybody.
Right.
That's my intention, and my vision is to have relationships build with everybody all over the world. That is how you're able to hold somebody's
Yeah.
hand. You
Yeah.
can't hold a stranger's hand, but it feels way more stronger when you're holding somebody that you love hand. And so relationship building is what we're doing when we're holding each other's hands around the world. And
Right.
so even if we don't talk after I've done a live, I will support what you're posting. I will
Right.
comment in and help promote what you're doing, because if we're doing 100 interviews, obviously we're not going to be talking to everybody every day.
Right.
But every person that I've had on, I want to support and have a space that continues to continue to support them. So yeah, I love that too. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank
absolutely.
you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. I think, sometimes we take something so simple as just encouragement for granted, of what can we do. Sometimes it's just saying, hey, you did a good job, or hey,
Simple.
keep doing what you're
Yeah.
doing. Keep smiling, whatever. It doesn't take a whole lot if you just want to tap into that. So Miss Prudence, so tell me, what is next for Miss Prudence?
Well, my intentions is I would love to have a podcast next because a lot of people who aren't able to watch the lives right then can't have their Facebook running whilst they're at work, or sometimes maybe depend. I'm out in the country, and so different places according to their. And so a lot of people have asked if we can have this on podcast so they can listen to it, and my spirit pulling me towards that as well. But the podcast is not like my destination. It's on the way to more, whatever else more source has for me, because I see retreats, I see gatherings, I see courses, I see so many different things happening. But yeah, whatever it is, it's definitely all of us collectively doing it together.
Yeah, absolutely. 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 Well, I know this was just spontaneous. We've been on for 35 minutes. It doesn't even feel like it's been 35 minutes. It's went by so quick, you know? It's, and that's what I love about it too. But it is Saturday. I could talk to you and forever, but I do want to extend another invitation so that you can come back on, because I want everyone to know you, but also I want an update on the growth of All Things Possible, and then everything else that's going on in your life. I'm so excited for you. Any words of wisdom before we close the broadcast this afternoon?
Today I will leave everyone with I think just being present in your presence right now. There's so much that we can look and want to fix in our lives, look at and want to fix in our lives. I think right now, today, I would like to leave you with the reminder to be present of where you are right now, to give thanks, to just be in a space of gratitude, and then kind of just allow source to move in your life. Allow source to move in your life. That is my reminder today.
That's awesome. Prudence, you're doing amazing work. Continue. Thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you for having me.
Not planned, by the way.
Yeah, I know it was spontaneous. Hold on, let me throw the necklace.
I wasn't concerned. I'm like, I know you're always blinged out, so I never.
Let me grab some earrings.
I knew that was good.
I love you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And so happy Saturday, everyone. I hope you guys have a super duper weekend. Welcome to life. Make sure you live your life in freedom every single day. Check out the, I want to put this back on here just so that they'll have it, but I don't want it on. I want the banner here. Sorry. So that, there you go. Whoops. There we go. All Things Possible. So make sure you go and join Prudence beautiful community, All Things Possible. Again, remember, all things are possible, and we hope that you have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Blessings. Namaste.
Peace.
Bye.
Okay. Hold on.